All right. I wanted to go over just a couple questions from activity 23.6. This might help you. Um, yeah, you were asked to, given this problem, you have this polynomial divided by x plus 2, and you were first asked to use the remainder theorem to determine what the remainder is, and then afterwards, and then use the factor theorem. Okay? So, first of all, we're going to use this here, right? If it says x plus 2, then, well, we know that actually comes from x minus negative 2, right? And so what we're going to actually substitute in is negative 2 into the dividend, all right? Some of you that already turned this in, or portions of it, I thought you did a good job. I would say the main reason I wanted to go over this is because um, some calculation errors, things like that, some sign issues. And so this one, we're going to substitute a negative 2 in for every x and then evaluate it, all right? So especially since this is a negative 2, I'm going to use parentheses and substitute those in, okay? So this is what I have here, plus, and then negative 2, and then minus 13, okay? And then, of course, if you have a calculator, you're gonna, you can use your calculator here. Um, and then here, negative 2 to the third power, this ends up being negative 8, okay? And, order of operation, you got to do exponents first here and then multiply to the 2, all right? So this, right, that portion right there is a positive 4, not negative 4. And then positive 4 times the 2 is a positive 8, so that's going to be plus 8, okay? And then here, plus negative 2 is just minus 2 and minus 13, all right? So then here we work this out. We evaluate it. Okay, negative 8 plus 8, that's 0, okay? And then 0 minus 2, negative 13, right? Here, I'll just make note of that. This is 0, or you can cancel these out. Okay, so you get negative 15. Okay, so meaning p of negative 2, if you substitute a negative 2 into the expression, right, you get negative 15, and this represents the remainder. Okay, which means, right, which means that x plus 2 is not a factor by the factor theorem. Okay, right? Meaning it does not divide nicely, right? Um, if it was a factor, it would divide nicely, and then your remainder would be 0. Okay, and so because we got negative 15, which is the remainder, that means x plus 2 is not a factor that divides x cubed plus 2x squared plus x minus 13. Okay, it's only a factor if you get a remainder of 0. All right, so let's look at part D. Okay, we'll do this one here. Whoops, sorry about that. Okay, so this one, we're going to substitute in 7. All right, okay, so P of 7. All right, so every x value gets a 7, so 7 to the third. Now notice I didn't use parentheses here. You can, if you want to, just stay consistent. But because this is a positive 7, I'm just gonna just substitute it in as is. All right, so minus 2, and then 7 squared minus 32 times 7 minus 17. Okay, so we work this out. All right, and so I go to my calculator and I'm going to get these numbers here. Okay, that's going to be 343. And this one I'll just kind of work out. Minus 2 times 7 squared is 49, right? minus 32 times 7 minus 17. I'm going to go to my calculator. This is 49 times 2, which would be 98. All right. 32 times 7 is 224 minus 17. All right. And then we work that out. All right. So 343 minus 98 minus 224 minus 17. Doing this in my calculator gets me 4. Okay. So 4 is the remainder. Okay. So that's the remainder. All right. And then the directions, asked you to use the factor theorem, right? And so you would say that x minus 7 in this case is not a factor as well. Okay. So again, if the remainder is 0, then it's a factor. Okay. And so in this case, it's not a factor. And so you have to say that when you show the work for these answers, okay? All right. Okay, well, I hope that helped. Try the rest of the problems. If you need to go back and fix some of your mistakes, if you already turned it in, then please go ahead and do that. All right, thank you.